The most beautiful bond in human life is of friendship. Hence, here we are to celebrate our friendship with our supreme nature. Good evening, everyone. I, Ishwari Shinde, welcome you all on the behalf of NSS unit of Ferguson College, Autonomous Pune. Team Paryavaran started a series called Pranushya, aiming at establishing a bond of sincerity, compassion, and happiness between humans and animals in order to resolve the growing environmental issues. Today, we will be witnessing the second activity of our series called HA Council. The current environmental issues has affected the most valuable treasure of Earth, that is none other than our biodiversity. The most famous example of it are the burning forests. Today, we will be discussing causes and effects of Amazon forest fire and suggest some solutions from humans as well as animal perspective. The aim of this activity is to spread awareness and to take responsibilities as a community to work for the lungs of our planet Earth. We hope that at the end of our council, all of us will take steps in order to save our planet Earth from us. Now I call Raksha for further proceedings.
Thank you, Ishwaritai. So let me first introduce you all to today's council, that is the HA Council and its members. We have four groups. Group 1 is Sapiens. Members of the group are Sanchita Fad, Isha Hazare, and Gayatri Solanke. Group 2 is Animality. Members of the group are Neha Jadhav, Jishan Mulani, and Omkar Shirsagar. Group 3 is O Anthropos. Members of the group are Shriram Shinde, Aishwarya Dingre, and Shubham Pawar. And our last group is Group 4 First. Its members are Om Shah, Shreya Kulkarni, and Labdhi Solanki. So the groups Sapiens and O Anthropos will be putting forth human point of view, that is the human council. Both of them will be the human council, and group Animality and group First will be the animal council. There will be 3 rounds in total. Each round will be of 3 minutes. In the first round, each group will be given 3 minutes to discuss the reasons of Amazon forest fires, after which there will be a counter round where we would like to take some questions from the audience as well. पार्टिसिपेंट्स को ये ध्यान रखना है कि ये ग्रुप चर्चा है, दैट इज इट विल बी ह्यूमन वर्सेस एनिमल. इट इज नॉट ह्यूमन वर्सेस एनिमल, इट विल बी प्राणी और मनुष्य, ह्यूमन एंड एनिमल. Okay, that is the name of the activity, Pranushya, human and animal. So let's begin the first round. All the best to the council members. Over to the group Sapiens.
Good evening, everyone. So basically, forest fire is a unplanned and uncontrolled burning of a forest in a large area, I would say. So, like, there are two types of forest fires. One are natural, and other is man-made. So the causes of natural forest fire will be as follows. So the first cause is lightning. So as we all know, lightning it is one of the biggest cause of forest fire. Lightning, when it happens in the places of dry vegetation, it causes a fire, and trust me, it is just it spreads to so many vast and large areas that it just ends up causing great destruction. Then second would be spontaneous combustion of dry vegetation. It also causes such destructive forest fires, and in some cases volcanoes, they do also lead to such fires. So these were all the natural causes of forest fire. Now come to the man-made causes. So human causes, like these forest fires, they can be accidental, intentional, or an act of ignorance as well. So as we all know, campfire, smoking, these things are very normal. But when these things are neglected, they end up causing great destructive forest fires. And dry weather, as we all know, like spontaneous fires, combustion of dry vegetation, that is not the only cause. The Amazonian forest fires, they are a human made disaster, which is set by loggers and cattle ranchers who use the technique of slash and burn method. Slash and burn method is a cleaning of forest due to like by cutting and burning down the trees. And if ignored, like as I said initially, these forest fires, they will spread to out, like they'll spread and they will just go out of control, causing great destructions. So this is all. These are the causes of man-made forest fires. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanchita. Our next group is group animality.
हेलो गाइस, मैं हूँ स्पाइडर मंकी। आपने मेरा नाम बेंटन में सुना होगा या फिर मेरे नाम का एलियन देखा होगा, लेकिन आप में से कई लोगों को ये नहीं पता कि मैं रियल में एग्जिस्ट करता हूँ। और मुझे देखोगे भी तो कैसे, मेरी कम्युनिटी बहुत खतरे में है। पहले ही IUCN ने हमारा नाम इंडेंजर्ड स्पीशीज के लिस्ट में डाल रखा है, और ऊपर से ये अमेजोन फॉरेस्ट फायर, जिसकी वजह से मेरा पूरा घर जल गया। मैं अकेला एक स्पाइडर मंकी बचा हूँ मेरे परिवार से। और इन सब के लिए मैं इंसानों को दोष नहीं देना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि सभी इंसान थोड़ी ना जानवर की तरह होते हैं। लेकिन कुछ इंसान है जो अपने स्वार्थ के लिए दूसरों की जिंदगी उजाड़ने में लगे। टिम्बर और लकड़ियों के लिए वो जंगल काट देते हैं। पेड़ काटने के बाद वो ड्राई हो जाते हैं, और ड्राई सीजन में वो जल्दी से फायर कैच कर लेते हैं। और यही और इसी से शुरुआत होता है फॉरेस्ट फायर। इसके बाद कई लोग एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड और कैटल फीडिंग के लिए जंगल जला देते हैं, जिसकी वजह से भी फॉरेस्ट फायर शुरू हो जाती है, और मेरे जैसे कई स्पीशीज अपना घर तबाह कर देती है। अप टू नेक्स्ट नेहा।
So we believe we destroy our own ecosystems. So when it comes to why is the Amazon burning, one of the major reasons for Amazon forest fire is indeed deforestation with infrastructure development. Sometimes the trees they are being cut by the humans, and the remaining vegetation is burned, which affects the creature living in the habitat. So when the dry season arrives, all it takes is a single spark of fire to blaze out of control, and the blaze emits so much smoke that the fires it multiplies. Although there are like second growth of the forest, but they will never replace the perfectly older forest which was our home, that we have lost. And another reason could be hunting or poaching, because we animals live there in the forest, and there is a reason for it. It's not only because we are adapted to live there, but we play a vital role in protecting the forest from the fire killing, from the forest fires. So killing animal is, of course, one of the major reasons, I suppose.
ओके, थैंक यू नेहा। सो जैसे अभी हम रीजंस के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं कि ऐसी कौन सी चीज़ें हैं जो कि अमेजोन फॉरेस्ट फायर उस वजह से होती है, तो उसमें मैं कुछ पॉइंट्स ऐड करना चाहूँगा, जो कि मेजर रीजन वही है कि डिफॉरेस्टेशन। सो जैसे हमें पता है कि डिफॉरेस्टेशन जहाँ पे मतलब पूरी तरह से लकड़ियाँ काटी, पेड़ काटे जाते हैं और लैंड पूरी तरह से क्लियर की जाती है, तो उसका मेन पर्पज यही है कि फार्मिंग के लिए एंड इंडस्ट्रियल पर्पज उसके लिए। सो व्हाट इज बेसिकली एक्चुअली कॉजेस इज द वाइल्ड फायर that spread out of control because of humans burning vegetation. Smoke from this, and also the smoke from these fires also interacts with the clouds and the sun to reduce further rainfall, which creates dry fire prone conditions. अब ये डिफॉरेस्टेशन ये एक रीजन हो गया, लेकिन उसी के साथ दूसरा रीजन ये है कि अबाउट द पोल्यूशन। सो पोल्यूशन की अगर एग्जांपल दी जाए, जैसे कि एयर पोल्यूशन, तो जैसे हमें पता है कि एयर पोल्यूशन की वजह से एयर प्योरिटी भी कम हो रही है और ऑक्सीजन लेवल भी कम हो रहा है, लेकिन उसी के साथ टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज हो रहा है, जिस वजह से ग्लोबल वार्मिंग की वजह से भी वो एक रीजन बन रहा है, जिस वजह से अमेजोन फायर को वो क्रिएट कर रहा है। और दूसरा एग्जांपल दिया जाए जो कि वाटर पोल्यूशन के है, तो वाटर पोल्यूशन से भी एज इट इज हार्मफुल फॉर द ऑर्गेनिजम्स विच मे ऑल्सो हेल्प इन द स्टॉपिंग द वाइल्ड फायर, विच इज फर्दर डिस्कस्ड। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Group 2. Our next group is O Anthropos, Group 3.
The human body cannot live without lungs. The Amazon rainforest has been named as the lungs of the planet, a testament to the importance of this forest for the world. The Amazon is home to many people as well as millions of species of fauna and flora. Yet, this rainforest is under siege, with vast tracts of land being deforested at alarming rates. In 2019, the National Institute for Space Research revealed that 3,769 square miles were destroyed during a 12-month period, making a 30% increase during the previous year long period. 12% of what once was Amazonian forest, which is about 93 million acres of land, is now farm area. A tragedy continues to unfold across the Amazon. Tens of thousands of fires are raging across the region, destroying large swathes of forests in Brazil, Bolivia, and Peru. Unlike boreal forests, the Amazon is not adapted to fire. which means the burned forests may take centuries to recoup the lost indigenous trees, wildlife, and carbon storing capacity. What's causing these fires? It's man made deforestation. Deforestation is largely due to land clearing for agriculture purposes, particularly cattle ranching, but also soybean production. Both environmentalist groups and researchers agree that cattle ranchers, farmers, and loggers have intentionally lit fires to clear the land for cattle. Since farmers need a massive amount of land for grazing, they are driven to continuously clear forests to expand pasture land, which is actually illegal. Farmers are producing more meat and therefore earning more money with the land. 20% of Brazil's soya and beef exports to Europe are linked to deforestation. As you can see, these are the causes for fire. Don't you think, as a community, we should give some thought to this and improve?
Okay, thank you so much, Group 3. So, our last group to discuss the reasons is first. Your time starts now.
Hi all, good evening there. So Amazon forest fire. What is Amazon forest fire? Like right from the animal point of view, burning of our homes. Seeing in front of our eyes, our homes are getting destroyed. They are getting burned alive. Our species, our families, everyone is getting burned. Looking that, the eyes fill up with tears. Many of the human council enlightened us regarding the natural causes and the man-made causes. But what would I tell in my point of view? The natural causes being an act of God or an act of nature, which has to happen one or the other day. But man-made causes, such as for their own profits, cutting out the trees and all, accepted for their own benefits. But till what an extent? We wanna live, we are happy with our families. We have such species with us which get displaced, which get killed, which get threatened, which get endangered. And afterwards, you people just say save species. But what is that all about? Look, Amazon forest is a forest which is made for everybody. It is a part of our ecosystem. It is a part of our biodiversity. We humans, we animals coexist together. We are there for each other to share love between ourselves. But this thing, just burning it out, burning our home, is not at all acceptable. Look what it provides to us. It provides us the ample of oxygens. But what have we done to it? Traded for lumberjack, traded for land, and that's what we don't want. That we want to live with our family in a very happy manner. Deforestation, wow, great, understood. And yes, the canopies which protect us from the heavy sunlight, so that we can stay in dark, we can stay camouflaged, are now not there. Why? Because we just cannot stay there, because that increases the chances of predator. A predator comes and kills us. That's what happens. There are a category of weak animals too, as well as the strongest animals too. The animals which can just, some of us which can just move away fastly, just such as jaguars, pumas, can just save themselves from this. But what about such like sloths? What about such like bears? What about small animals like frogs? Can we get saved? No, we get killed. So that's all are the basic reasons. Please have a control over your own profits. And that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Group 4. So, thank you to all the council members for putting their points on reasons so well and so clearly. Now, for the counter round, I would like to hand it over to Ishwari Tai.
So the first question is for Group Sapiens. As you mentioned that Amazon forest fires are human-made disaster due to slash and burn agriculture. What according to you is a great alternative for this method in order to control fires?
Um, Sorry, could you please just repeat your question? You are not audible.
As you mentioned that Amazon forest fires are human-made disaster due to slash and burn agriculture. What according to you is a great alternative for this method in order to control fires?
See, basically, I would say that Amazon forest is not a land which you can use for agriculture purposes. That land, like instead of that, you can go for zoom agriculture instead of slash and burn method.
Okay, thank you, Group Sapiens. The next question is for Group Animality. As mentioned, pollution can affect Amazon forest fire. Then the main cause of pollution is mostly plastic. So, how will be plastic considered as possible reasons for Amazon forest fire, or how will it specifically affect our vegetation?
So basically, as we know that plastic is a non-degradable substance, means it takes so much time to degrade, and it is also harmful for the environment as well as the animals. So as it is harming the vegetation, so because of that, overall the life cycle is get disturbed, imbalance, and as a result, the biodiversity get disturbed. So animals are also playing a major role in maintaining the biodiversity of the Amazon forest by various means. So whether it could be the squirrel or from insects, any insects by eating the shrubs, all all are dependent on each other. So that is the main reason why the plastic is harmful for the animals.
Okay, thank you, Group Animality. Over to you, Rakshana.
Yes. So now, as we all are aware of the reasons, let's know what effects have happened due to this. So round two में a discussion होगा on the effects of Amazon forest fires. So let's begin with the group Sapiens.
So, good evening to all of you. Now we come to the effects of the forest fires. So, how did Amazon forest fire affect the environment? So, it has a major impact on the environment because these fires created a lot of environmental concerns from excess carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide with these fire emissions. And generally, these large forests contain carbon in their soil. So all this organic matter sit on the soil. But due to these fires, all this organic matter gets burned up and has impact on the environment. The second effect is that these forest fires have affected the tribes which live within the forest. Obviously, the health of the entire world was impacted, but no one more than these tribes were affected due to these fires. All their futures were burned up into flames. And during these or due to these raging fires, obviously trees get affected, but animals and plants are also mostly vulnerable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, group one. Next group is group two, animality.
So they said our house is burning. So indeed, it was burning in front of our eyes. We saw our families melting in ashes. When we talk about Amazon forest fire, we just do not consider the flora, which has been damaged, but we must talk about the fauna or the animal species as well, because biodiversity goes hand in hand with ecosystem functioning. So, what is one of the major effects as an animal is species become virtually extinct even before they lose their entire range of habitat. During a wildfire, we can either hide in our burrows or say jump in the water because not all of us have wings. So either we can be displaced or perished. We have seen like our own species dying from flames, heat, or smoke inhalation. A theory was applied here: survival of the fittest. Because our feline friends, like tigers and cheetahs, they were able to at least escape. But rest of us, we all were trapped in the wheel of death. Yeah, now I over to Zashan.
Worst part is the already vulnerable species becoming more threatened or extinct. Though we ignore our marine friends, but we should not forget that fire burns are right over. Water dwelling amphibians, which need to stay partially above water in order to breathe, would be in harm's way. Fire also changed the water chemistry to the point that it is not sustainable for life in short terms. The long term effects are dangerous and catastrophic. The entire ecosystem of the burning section of rainforest is altered, affecting the entire food chain. The post effects are getting adapted to new background because species have certain texture and color to camouflage. But due to forest fires, they are exposed to more prone for being caught by predators. The competition among the animals increases, and the one who is strongest, or say just the winner, survives, and rest are being hunted down. Over to you, Om.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jishan. So one of the species which is highly affected is that is the primates. So primates suffered the worst impacts. More than about 60% of their habitat had been burned at some point in the last 2 decades already. The impacted areas represent less than 10% of their habitat range, and any lost habitat is already too much. Most of the species depend on the standing forest. Monkeys need forest for displacement, food, and shelter. They hardly ever move or feed on the ground. So it's very much likely that our animal populations have already been affected by habitat loss and the opening of more remote areas to hunting. The very basic fact is that it is common for a fire to start in the Amazon, which is the reason why animals couldn't cope with the flames. Taking off displacement, it is a problem in itself. So, for example, jaguar is capable of escaping the fires. It will face a food shortage. They regularly attack livestock for food. They are often killed in the process. So this was from my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you so much, group two. So now, group three, O Anthropos, it's your time.
Okay, so my council members nicely put about the impact on the environment. So for upcoming few minutes, I'll be talking about the impact on us humans. So imagine one fine day, a stranger comes to your house and sets it burning. Horrible feeling, right? But my dear friends, that's exactly what we are doing to local tribes of the Amazon. The huge quantity of smoke released during the forest fires causes the respiratory diseases among them, more prone, especially children. No other one is more impacted than them. For us, it's simply the statistical sum of some increase in the carbon. But for them, it is like witnessing their memories, their stories, and their future go up in the flames. Now, you must be considering why should we, you, and the all students bother about the something happening in the Amazon? After all, we haven't even seen the Amazon in real, right? But my dear friends, let me remind you that it's not a local or regional threat, but what experts are calling as urgent world crisis. The Amazon forest is nicely called as the lungs of Earth. They cover almost 13% of the total forest cover in the world. So I think burning the Amazon forest is like a cigarette addiction that will surely cause cancer to humanity. Even in the health sector, Amazon forest is home to multiple medicinal plants. Amazon fire will also impact our target of achieving climate neutrality. And lastly, Amazon forest fires are also responsible for the climate change. Every year, the forest fire releases about 1.5 billion tons of CO2. And if you think this is a small number, then let me remind you that a single person in his entire lifespan just emits about 1.5 ton of CO2. So after analyzing the impacts, you must be convinced why should we worry about something happening in the Amazon Valley. Its long-term impacts are so lethal that experts have begun to call it as a climate catastrophe rather than climate urgency. So, but if we humans don't take urgent measures towards sustainable development in the valley, then sooner or later we are gonna face it. And तो वो कहते हैं ना कि अ, वो कहते हैं ना कि treating it an unsustainable way is like putting अपने खुद के पैर पे कुराड़ी मारने जैसा है. तो रिमेम्बर आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट द एनालॉजी ऑफ द हाउस. तो वो घर भी हमारा है और उसे जलाने वाले भी हमें. अब हमें इंसानों को सोचना है कि घर को बनाया जाता है ना कि जलाया. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू सो मच शुभम, बहुत सही पॉइंट कहा आपने. अभी नेक्स्ट ग्रुप है फर्स्ट, लास्ट ग्रुप टू प्रेजेंट योर इफेक्ट्स.
Hello everyone. Now, deforestation and fires have caused the Brazilian rainforest to lose about 10,000 square kilometers of forest cover per year. However, until very recently, the damage was measured only in the vegetation destroyed. Never were animal species considered considered. Therefore, some species, a great extent of habitat, have been burned at some point in the last 2 decades. Even even a little bit of habitat loss in the Amazon can be greatly consequential for species survival, as some groups are rare and threatened species have restricted distribution of in the Amazon in certain areas. For example, take white-cheeked spider monkey, which is endemic to Brazil. This species depends largely on the standing forest, that is, they need trees for displacement, food, and shelter. These species of monkeys have been greatly affected in previous 20 years. Generally, in the midst of forest fires, wild animals have very few choices. They can either hide by burrowing or go into water and be displaced. Therefore, a lot of animals die either from flames, heat from the flames, or um, heat of the flames. The second major blow are the longer term effects that are likely to be most catastrophic. The entire ecosystem of burning sections of rainforest will be altered. For example, the dense canopy of the Amazon rainforest largely blocks sunlight from reaching the ground. Fire opens up the canopy, bringing in light and fundamentally changing the energy flow of the entire ecosystem. This can have cascading effects on the entire food chain. Surviving in a fundamentally transformed ecosystem could be struggle for many species, like lots of amphibians and have camouflage skins which can cover them. But when the ecosystem is changed, they are exposed. Now many animals in Amazons are especially evolved to adapt due to the changes in habitat. Toucans, for instance, eat fruits that are only up at a very height, which are inaccessible to other bird species. This change would when the canopy is burned, the whole Amazon the it gets destroyed. Once you take the rainforest away, 99% of all species are lost from the wild. And worst is that we don't even know most of the species existing right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So थैंक यू टू ऑल द फोर ग्रुप मेंबर्स. सो क्या बात है, आपने सबने बहुत बढ़िया और बहुत अच्छे पॉइंट्स बोले हैं. तो अब काउंटर राउंड के लिए सब तैयार हो जाओ. तो ओवर टू ईश्वरी ताई.
Yes. So the first question for effects is for the group O Anthropos. Are Amazon forest fire responsible for climate change or is it other way around? Can sudden climate changes cause Amazon forest in any way?
Okay, I'll try to answer it. Okay, so it is better to say none of each other lead to other. It's sort of cycle. The more we emit the carbon, whether due to pollution or due to forest fire, it is gonna affect the climate change. And more is the climate change, that cycle is gonna repeat itself and leading to more forest fire and leading to more climate change. I hope it made clear.
Thank you, Shubham. Now the question is for the group Pars. Will adaptation be another choice for survival, along with burrowing or hiding for animals, if Amazon forest fire keeps on happening for decades?
Sorry, please, can you repeat?
Will adaptation be another choice for survival, along with burrowing or hiding for animals, if it keeps happening for decades?
Adaptation. See, to into something, into adapt into a new habit, it takes many years. So we can't just adapt. The animals can't just adapt into something, uh, because it takes very much time. So we need to preserve in what they are adapted so that they can continue to live. I hope it answered your question.
Thank you for your answer. Over to you, Raksha now.
यस, तो चलो अब हम बढ़ते हैं हमारे लास्ट राउंड की तरह. जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट राउंड है होगा वो है कंक्लूजन वाला राउंड. तो पार्टिसिपेंट्स, आपको इस राउंड में भी 3 मिनट्स दिया जाएगा और आपको अपने कंक्लूडिंग पॉइंट्स बताने हैं आपके विचार और आप सब ऑडियंस को क्या मैसेज देना चाहते हो। ओके, तो आपको ये बताना है। तो शुरू करते हैं राउंड 3। ग्रुप 1 सेपियंस, ओवर टू यू।
Hello everyone. So as we all know, rainforests are natural air filters. Rainforests are the most biodiverse habitats on earth. Rainforests provide homes and natural resources that supports livelihood over 1.2 billion people around the world. The whole point of the content is to come up to save the ongoing destruction of the Amazon rainforest and to stop the forest fire. And to do so, we must educate your family and friends about the importance of the Amazon, which is home to 10% of the known species on the earth. Also, to reduce the use of fossil fuels and your impact on the planet. The less fossil fuels used, the less impact climate change will have on the Amazon and other important natural areas. Also, it is very important that we preserve the biodiversity. This brings me to the end of the presentation, and to summarize my main points, wildlife have diverse and important values from global economies to local livelihoods. They contribute various ecosystem services and support human well-being. Wildlife have also simply in their existence the extra added value. When humans coexist with and avoid persecuting wildlife in and around our community, we safeguard ecosystem health, agricultural stability, food security, and the creation of new sustainable economies, for example, ecotourism. Ultimately, coexistence with wildlife is essential for all life, humans and animals alike. And the end. It's up to us to let the biodiversity thrive and flourish. So let's be responsible, sensitive, and sensible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isha, for putting forth your points. We'll surely try to be responsible and sensitive towards nature. So, our next group is group 2, animality.
सो हमारा जो सोल्यूशन है, पहला सोल्यूशन तो ये है कि एनजीओ एंड यूनाइटेड नेशन ने मिलकर अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम करवानी चाहिए रिगार्डिंग दिस अमेजोन फॉरेस्ट फायर। एंड सेकेंड इज गवर्नमेंट ने जो लॉज रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन बनाए हैं उनका स्ट्रिक्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होना चाहिए, क्योंकि आधे काम तो वही हो जाएंगे जहां हम जो लॉज है वहां हम स्ट्रिक्ट जब फॉलो करते हैं तो आधा काम तो वही हो जाएगा हमारा।
Talking of solution, it would be appreciated if animals would be allowed to do their part or their contribution in biodiversity, which would be accomplished by not killing the animals. Like feeding habits of animals are an often overlooked form of ecosystem engineering, which could make fires easier to control. And the animals, they actually act as a living brush cutter. Also, we believe that by not polluting the rivers, land, as it is harmful for us to survive, which is going to have a bad impact on securing forest from the fires. So when we talk about the solution as an animal, it might sound world shattering or something, but we personally believe it's not too late to save Amazon. Humans and animals would do this together, as it has never been versus two species, because we all are one and we are protecting our home out there, the Amazon. Yeah, now I hand over to Om.
Yeah. So when we are talking about these solutions, which can be taken the ways where we can minimize or just put the restrictions on the Amazon fire. So here are the ways which I would be like to say about it. So first way which we should do is about the stop deforestation from cutting it on a large scale. Instead of it, we should plant trees as much as we can, because it is the first utmost step which we should do. Second, further ongoing, we should go towards the instead of killing animals, we should protect the animals, birds, and even insects could be effective weapons against the bushfires as reintroducing wildlife that eat that eats the parts of trees and bushes most likely to catch fire could stop bushfires in tracks. And afterwards, when we go towards the third point, the third step which we should take is about the instead of clearing the forest by putting it on fire for just agriculture, industrial purpose, etc. As a result, it harms the animals and other organisms. Instead of it, will get less to live and survive, and plants will grow there. So these are the few points of the solutions. So at last, I would say only about the not only the animals nor humans alone can save the Mother Earth, but we together can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Group 2. You all are right. We all should consider the Amazon as our home, and it is our responsibility to conserve it. So our next group is Group 3, Anthropos.
As my co council members mentioned the reasons and the effects of this devastating destruction, which has affected both the animals as well as us humans, we have no choice but to take a step towards the betterment of this world for both humans and animals' sake. As we have a symbiotic relationship with each other where one needs another to coexist. And wildlife is contributing such great diversity to our ecosystem. They are helping the local livelihoods, and they have a purpose in themselves. As we live in this anthropocentric world, the modern era categorized by the human dominated landscapes reduces wild populations and chaotic climates. We have to be more considerate towards the unspeaking and speak for them, for not only to exist together but have a place in which we don't go through this horrid situation again. To prevent it from happening, the first step we need to take is educating ourselves and start being the part of the change we want to see in the world. By doing small things that lead to bigger changes, like reduce your paper and wood consumption, reduce your oil consumptions, start getting local and regional things rather than imported things. And as we have learned that the deforestation is like the main cause of all of it. So burning the fields, as we have seen very new researchers coming together. We have seen a documentary which was produced by Ian Somerhalder called Kiss the Earth, and it was a very beautiful documentary. It was a documentary about regenerating the carbon particle from the soil to make it more and more fertilizing rather than burning the crop altogether. And now, these are the smaller steps we can take in our daily life to help our beautiful Amazon rainforest. I would like to conclude with, we do not inherit this world from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya. As Mahatma Gandhi ji has rightly said that be the change you want to see in the world. So all of us who are present here listening to you will surely follow all the individual steps which you have mentioned. Thank you. Our last group to present the conclusion is Team First.
Good evening, everyone. As every one of you mentioned, Amazon is the lung of the world. And if you imagine the lung of the world being burning, you have to find some solutions for it. There are many solutions, as everyone stated, but I want to give my own solutions to it. There are 3 million species of plants and animals in the Amazon forest. And if there's a fire, we can imagine that the whole forest burns. That means the natural vegetation burns, the habitat of the animals burns. So there are two types of impacts on these animals. One is immediate and the other is a long term. To avoid all this, the humans have to just take small steps. We animals are not against you, but we want to coexist with you. As we all know, the 5 fingers of the hand, if separated from each other, the hand cannot work. Similarly, if humans or animals separated from each other cannot work. So, to, to reduce the Amazon rainforest fires, we just have to take small steps. For example, if you come near the forest and you have a campfire, you just need to ensure that the campfire is properly extinguished. Otherwise, a small sparkle from the campfire can lead to a big wildfire, and it is unintentional, but it leads to a devastation. The next point would be the vehicles and the vehicles and the gadgets which you used would be or should be all well maintained. Otherwise, if the vehicles are not well maintained, then a small sparkle or any such sparkles from the vehicles can lead to the burning of dry leaves and dry grasses and can lead to a big fire. The next thing is smoking. As smoking is bad for the health of the humans, it is also bad for the health of our habitat, and you should reduce it. To conclude, I would just say a quote by of humanity doesn't lie in being humans, it lies in being humane. So we should all strive to be humane and to protect our own lungs of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As you said, you we may never know like how the small steps which we take make big difference. So let's all begin with small steps. So thank you to all of you for this amazing and fruitful group discussion. I'm sure each one of them who has witnessed this group discussion has gained some message from it. So, the message that human and animal can live together in coexistence for a better earth. Thank you, all of you. Over to you, Gauritai.
Hello everyone. Good evening to each and everyone present here. I am here to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Paryawaran National Service Scheme, Ferguson College, Pune. First of all, I would like to thank each participant of this HA Council who come here through a selection process. Also, they have done great work for these studies. Then my thanks to our audience who listened to this group discussion carefully and also asked counter questions to our participants. Then my sincere thanks to whole NSS Samiti, our POs Santosh Farande sir, Shivaji Kokate sir and Deepa Kulkarni ma'am. Also my thanks to our CRs Advait Dada and Riddhi Tai who encouraged and helped us a lot. And once again my thanks to our all enthusiastic volunteers. Thank you so much.